Hi YouTube, welcome to another edition of HorrorHands. It's a Saturday morning, so I've got a bit of time to talk about the movies that I've watched this week. And the first one is The Monster. So this is a film that I was very much on the fence about watching. I'd read some bad reviews about it, and they were saying things like it was more of a drama, it was very slow, and you didn't see the monster until the very end of the film. And that's a particular complaint of mine. I don't like monster movies and creature features where you don't see the creature. I always think no matter how bad or how fake it looks, you should always get the monster out there. So I was really in two minds about watching this one. And even as I went to put it on, I thought, I'm not going to like it. But it turns out I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very well made film. I'm not sure if because I'd resigned myself to thinking it was going to be so bad, I enjoyed it more, but I really thought it was a very good film. So at the start of the film, we're introduced to this girl. She's about 10 or 12 years old, and it's clear she's from a broken home. She's sort of fending for herself. Her mum's an alcoholic, and it's really a bad relationship between the two of them. In fact, the mum in the movie is driving the girl to stay with her dad. So that's what happens. That's what takes place in the movie. They drive in to the girl's dad's, and there's a few backstory scenes which show the girl and mum arguing, the mum getting drunk and being aggressive towards the daughter. It's really a toxic relationship between the two of them. So on the way to the girl's dad's, they're driving down this long dark country road. It's pouring it down with rain, and they hit and kill a wolf, and it injures them a little bit, and it damages the car so that they can't go on any further. They call for a tow truck and an ambulance, but it's going to take a while to find them because they're not too sure where they are on this long stretch of road. And while they're sat waiting in the car, they get this increasing sense of unease that something's in the woods, particularly the daughter. And there's a great line where the daughter asks the mum what the wolf was doing in the road, and the mum says, oh, it just ran into the road. And the daughter says, but what was it running from? And it's really creepy, it's really well done in its setup, and that for me was quite interesting because you don't see many monster movies that are scary. Like paranormal things and ghost things for me are quite scary and creepy, but a lot of monster things are quite cheesy and hammed up. So it was really cool to see a monster movie that was scary and creepy at the same time. So other characters come into it. The tow truck guy comes into it, and the ambulance people come to help them, and they get killed off by this monster, which throughout the rest of the film sort of terrorizes the mum and daughter. And I really enjoyed it. I thought the monster got a decent amount of screen time, and it looks like a really cool creature. It looks like it's practical effects as well. I think there's some CGI thrown in there, but it mainly looks practical. If it is CGI, I couldn't tell. So credit to the guys that made this. I think as well that the only thing that kind of not lets it down, but the ending sort of just fizzles out. It comes to a fizzly end. But then thinking about it, I think that kind of works for this film because it's a bit of an ambiguous ending, and that it suits this kind of film. I have a personal thought that the monster itself never existed. It was just a metaphor and a manifestation of the toxic relationship between the mum and daughter. I'm not giving anything away. That's never established in the film. It's that kind of film that it raises itself to interpretation. So having the ambiguous ending kind of worked for this movie. The acting was really good, and it's quite emotive in places as well. You kind of care for the characters, and it's quite heavy on the emotion in places. So I thought it was a really well made film. It's from the same director as The Strangers, which was a film that I thought was very creepy and uncomfortable. And this is kind of done in the same sort of style. It doesn't reach those same heights as The Strangers in terms of its creepiness, but it was really well executed in that kind of way. I think to address the criticism that it is more of a drama, it certainly has that kind of aspect to it in terms of the family dynamic between the mum and the daughter, which is not very good, and that's explored somewhat along the way. But it didn't skimp out on the horror side. It had some really good horror monster moments in it, and I think it balanced the drama and the horror aspect very well. That being said, I think if you're looking to invite some friends round and eat pizza and watch a horror movie, The Monster is probably not the film to go with, because it is quite heavy on the drama and it is quite emotive in places, so it might not create that kind of party ambience that you're looking to achieve. But if you're looking for a very well-made film with a really good story to drive it along and a bit of ambiguity thrown in, this is certainly a film to recommend. And I think whether it is more of a metaphorical film or just a straight up monster movie, it's a really well made film and very enjoyable, so I highly recommend it. I think I give it an 8 out of 10. So for me it was a very good film. So let me know if you've seen it and what you think of it. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.